No matter what, we're gonna beat it.
Yeah, okay. I see that.
That is certainly interesting.
Wait, what now?
Oh,
my
Eagle!
God. Well then,
Oh my god.
they came in the right order too.
Good. 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 Good.
Oh yeah. Wait, what now? Oh yeah.
All right, boys, we're live.
Oh, what's up, THL? We got an awesome off-season election edition of Tavern Talk tonight. We're going to be joined by Mark Shire and C. Parker to talk to you all about the DOKE election. Mange, what does DOKE stand for again?
So it stands for Director of Community Engagement.
Okay, so that we're going to have that election going on. Voting's going to open tonight, and then we've got Parker here for all the salt and the memes and the production. And I'm Cassidy14, just a good dude. So welcome aboard.
Just a good dude.
Before Steve Parker gets on, we actually have all-star teams.
Oh, nice fives. Don't forget the drinking rules for tonight. We got
Feels
anything man. Anytime a question gets answered poorly, go ahead and drink to that. And the roster reveal power hour. Just take a drink for everyone you hear that's revealed.
Yeah, which will be 5 names. We have 1 team, spoiler alert, to reveal tonight.
Well, we would have had 2, but Indiana math can't add up to 1800. They add up to 1803.
Shout out to Lemur.
Attaboy, Lemur.
All right, so we'll dive into all-stars here while we wait for Steve Parker to get on. Our first all-star team is the Black-Yellow Conference, and that is headlined by Brewski in the 1 seed out of Hearthstone Academy. He went 8-1 and won 67% of his games. I mean, all-around fantastic season. The 2 seed was Mr. Pink Samus out of NWA, arguably the free agent signing of the offseason. He went 6-1, posted a whopping 73% win rate. 3 seed was rookie phenom himself, me, myself, and I out of Hearthstone Academy. He went 7-2, won 65% of his games. The 4 seed was the swanky Tiger himself. He went 6-3, won 62% of his games. And then the 5 seed, also out of NWA, was Drudded, who went 6-3, winning 58% of his games. Overall, really solid squad. Were there any surprises to you guys?
Not really. I think that you kind of looked at Hearthstone Academy's top 3, and you think maybe that JB would have been able to sneak on there, but Pink Samus had an incredible season, and I think really deserved that 2 seed.
Yeah.
The 4 seed race was really interesting to me because we had Swanky Tiger, Arcane THL, and one more whose name I can't remember right this second.
Aridin.
Sorry, Arcturus. Yes, Arcturus, and they all went 6-3. And that race was really tight for most of the voting, but Swanky Tiger pulled away. So I don't know. I think it's right. I think the voters did a really great job this time around for the Black Yellow team anyway.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, just first glance, not seeing Parallax get anybody on here after they spent most of the season at the top of the standings and the power rankings. But when you go back and look at win rates, I don't think anybody on that team had a super dominant individual season. So I think overall this was probably the correct decision. I think I went 5 for 5 on who I voted for.
I think Parallax was just a really well-rounded team. They didn't have any standouts. They just had everyone pulled their own weight. So that really carried them.
Yeah, I agree for sure. So are you ready to do the pink blue team?
Yeah, you want to take us through that?
Yeah. So we have the pink blue 1 seed, who happens to be on our show. Mark Shire for the Harry Generals went 7-2 with a 63% win rate. Our 2 seed, and this was, as someone who was looking at the results the entire time, this was by far our closest race. And it ended up being Kongmar from Aeon, who went 5-1 with 64%. He edged Cheesy 10 by 1 vote, single vote. So really cool for him to make it on the All-Star team after missing the first couple of weeks. Our 3 seed, we don't even have to talk about. 4 seed is D Lineman from Entropy, who went 8-1 with a 73% win rate. And our 5 seed is Sunshine from Team Golden Wisp, who went 6-3 with a 62% win rate. And that 3 seed that we skipped earlier was Parker, but we don't need to talk about him.
Yeah, that MVP-ness guy's a good dude.
And how about you guys? Think any surprises here? Marshall, why don't you jump in? Any surprises? Being on the pink
I don't think there were really any surprises. I think it's interesting that Kung Mar won. I mean, he definitely deserved it, but it's kind of hard when you only play 6 matches in the regular season to justify that. But I mean, he definitely deserved it. He was an outstanding player the whole season. Aside from that, yeah, no real surprises here.
Was Kongmar the one they didn't have room for at the start of the season, or was that ridiculous?
No, that was
that was Kongmar.
That's what I thought. Maybe that played into some people's vote that the team season just like miraculously turned around when Kongmar signed on. But yeah, I agree. Not seeing Cheesy 10 get on is kind of surprising. There could also be a little bit of fatigue there. I know people like to see new names when they can. Like it's just kind of human nature, right? So maybe there's some voting for the new guy over Cheesy. I don't think Cheesy's going to give a shit though. If we're being honest, he's just going to go out and win more next season. We're still waiting on the Anarchist. Oh no, he's in chat.
He's in chat. I told him to get on.
In chat, but not in Discord.
All right, everybody, get ready to take a drink. We're bringing a new look to Defias Brotherhood. Edwin Van Cleef wasn't able to play this season though, so they had to build around that. In the 1 seed, Captain Comp has signed G-Nets, he's gotten around the league a little bit now. He's been a part of a couple mutinies. I think he's done. I think he's ready to just play some Hearthstone. Number 2 seed is an SHL vet now making the jump in Joe HS at 453 PR. The 3 seed is another, a teammate of him even, I think, unless I'm wrong, in SHL, Hockey Boys 3. I think they're both Kawasaki Ninja Rule guys. I could be wrong about that, though.
Pretty sure they were on the same team, yeah.
I think
Yeah. He's at 432 PR. He's an active member in Discord and Twitch chat, and he was all on our card review, telling us how we were wrong. He's around. Seems like a pretty solid player. The 4 seed is another. I don't know if he's an SHL or if he's just been hanging around the Facebook group for a season, but his name is King Salt. He's at 230 PR. And the 5 seed is AO, who is a returning player as well at 196. The only returning player, actually.
Only returning player.
That's right.
So, what are you guys' first initial thoughts looking at this?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems like a pretty solid roster. I mean, they 2 points off the PR cap. You can't ever complain about that. Like, they ran it right up to the end. But, I guess it'll just all depend on how these SHL guys transfer over to THL, right?
Yes. After 10 games of play.
Yeah, because, G-Nets and AO are solid. You don't really know anything about King Salt, but you assume, 230 for a 4 seed, that's, decent. So, if you just assume he does, 500, it really just depends on how the SHL boys do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Joe and Hockey Boys both got reps in the 1 seed in SHL. They pretty sure their team swapped around a lot. So I think we can assume that those guys are pretty good players. They can maybe get up to a place where they're having 3 500 PR guys or something close to that, which has worked pretty well for a lot of teams in the past. So I think this team has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could be like a Hearthstone Academy, where they just have 3 really solid players. 2 of which are new, or they could be what's a team we've seen fail trying to do this?
Supreme.
Yeah, but you guys still actually won. I don't know, but they could be like the teams we've seen that are top heavy and then overvalue their expensive players and fall. So I don't know, it's interesting. G-Nets thought it was a good enough group to give up being a captain to do it, so he's obviously pretty confident and he knows what he's doing. So probably a playoff contender at the least.
Yeah, I think so. I think my favorite factoid about this team is that they both played for the Defias SHL team for a couple of seasons. And then so after a couple of seasons, some spots open up and they pretty much get the call up. We haven't seen a whole lot of that too much. Guys transferring directly from the SHL parent or the SHL child of the THL parent. So that's interesting. G-Nets informing us in chat that he was just lazy.
That's my favorite comment.
I was going to say, G-Nets knows what he's doing?
Apparently not. What's that?
I don't get to watch the Avatar just implosion again. That is always just one of my favorite things to watch.
Yeah, it just won't be the same.
Just by week 3, they all hate each other. They just don't even care if they win. They hope they lose, and their team's falling apart. And I'm gonna miss that.
Well,
I forget who it was, but someone phoned it in like week 4. Like, all right, so we just playing for funsies now.
Well, that was an
Wonderful
Avatar thing.
name.
That's what I'm hoping happens to Lemur's team, who was, like we said, was going to be revealed, ended up getting revealed. I'm really hoping that team implodes again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they already have. They built a team that doesn't actually fit under the cap. That's a great start for Lemur's new team here.
The 1803 PR.
All right,
Indiana
so
math.
let's get into some election stuff then. You guys ready for this?
Oh boy, let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right. So for those of you at home that do not know what the DOCE is, Director of Community Engagement, there's a couple of different main functions that they provide to the league. The first being, and I think that this is the most visible part of it, is throwing a lot of community events, tournaments, etc. For the league to participate in outside of actual league play. We had things like Wicked Wednesday in the past. They both have said they'd like to continue. Things like All-Star events, they both have said they'd like to continue. That kind of stuff. But beyond that, they are responsible for league recruiting drives and recruiting initiatives, and that's kind of been one of the harder roles to fill, because we, as a board, for a long time have felt that we're not really ready to have like a big influx of players. So it's been a lot of like grabbing people from the side here and there, introducing them to THL, etc. And then also DOCE is responsible for the marketing chair that did not actually have a chair this season, but there's someone that does graphics, advertisement for league programming, making sure that is all up to quality. And yeah, so that's DOCE. I wanted to give you a quick rundown of exactly what that is, because a lot of people really don't know that.
So they have to continue the spearheading the family that THL has kind of become here.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good way to generalize it.
All right, so we got some questions for you. We'll start with the ones we came up with,
Wait.
and we'll move to the ones from the Facebook group.
First, don't we want to let
There's
them
some good ones.
give any speech they have presented and let them present their platform?
Oh, yeah, let them do that.
Okay, let's do
Sorry.
that. No, you're good.
All right, who wants to go first?
Markshire, you want to go first? I don't care.
Oh, I mean, I actually don't have any speak prepared. I don't know if you did. I could read from my campaign letter. Did you have a speech you wanted to say?
I had a couple things I was going to say.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything big. Just a few sentences about what you think that you'll do well with the position. Like why you think you'd do well with the position.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been in the league for 3 seasons now. This will be my 4th. Well, can't math. Yeah, 4th. So ever since I got into the league, did Twitch die? Who knows? Okay, sorry. Ever since I got into the league, I've felt so welcomed by the group. Like Cassie said, kind of joining the family. I hang out in Discord a bunch, and so I want to be able to bring that to other people. I want my experience to translate to the other new people who I would hopefully be bringing in. I love throwing events. That's sort of been my thing since I've gotten here. With the Meta Breaker and doing the card reviews and stuff like that. That's what I enjoy, and so that's why I picked this position to run. I'm not running for a specific, like just a general board spot. I wanted this one. I think my past experiences in doing some of these is going to help me contribute. Will help me in a bigger role in doing that for the league. And really, I just want to see this league succeed. I love it. And I just want to keep doing what I'm doing and do it to the best of my ability. So that's all I got.
All right, cool. Marshall, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like C. Parker said, I really love the community in THL. I've played in THL for 6 seasons. I came in season Kappa I had only started playing competitive Hearthstone really, and I just saw this, I think, on Reddit, and I thought it might be a cool thing to do. And I just joined a team without really knowing anything about the league. And then since then, I've become incredibly involved in the league and incredibly involved in the community. Um, you know, I can say that I got the runner-up for the award of Social Butterfly for participating a lot in the league and also casting. I casted multiple Salty Saturdays last season, but I really think that I can bring a lot to the position of director of community engagement. I think that I can put together a lot of events that the community will enjoy, and I really want to make sure that it's organized well. Like one of my main things is I want to make sure that we bring back Wicked Wednesday as a weekly tournament. I think that we have a lot of great events that are in this league, like Tavern Talk and Salty Saturday, but I really just want to have a consistent weekly calendar that people can look forward to, and I think that way we'll get a lot more participation in the league from everyone. Because you look at the Facebook group, we've got over 400. We just recently hit over 400 members in it, but there's only 100 people that play in THL each season. So I really just think getting all the free agents involved in the league as much as possible, just so everyone can enjoy everything that this community has to offer.
Yeah, all right, cool. That's also well said. So I will start with C. Parker. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to ask C. Parker a question, Mark Shire, then you answer it. And then the next question that we ask, Mark Shire starts first, and then C. Parker answer it. We'll just snake it that way. You guys are familiar with like the snake format and all that serpentine.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So, C. Parker, what aspect of the DOCE role do you think is most important?
Most important, I would say, it's a tough one because the league can't survive without people. So bringing in people is vitally important, but at the same time, making sure they're engaged is also very important. I'm going to say that having the events, sort of the event planning and making sure all those things happen at a high quality and a good rate, I'm going to say that's going to be most important because we can bring people in, but we got to get people to stay. We got to get people engaged and involved. Like Mark Shire said, I really miss Wicked Wednesday. I really enjoyed those. I played in a lot of them. So yeah, I would go with event planning because, like I said, you just got to have. It's not a community if there's not things for people to do outside of their teams, and I think that's what THL really needs right now is some more events and stuff to where people can engage outside of just the team format, and I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So.
How about you, Mark Shire?
Okay, so I think I agree that community events are extremely important. I think that the most important aspect of the director of community engagement is going to be participating as a board member and making fair decisions in that role. This league cannot exist without the board, right? There's hundreds of people in the league. It started as just, I don't even know how many people were in just in season alpha or beta, but the league has grown so much. We've got 6 guys on the board that are basically running the entire thing. They're organizing all the season, all of the events that go on in the season, all of the off-season events, just determining everything that goes on in the league. And without the board, the league is nothing, right? And I think that just being a board member that's going to constantly look to do what's in the best interests of the community is going to be the most important role of the director of community engagement. Just making fair decisions, doing what is best for the community now and for the strength of the league in the future.
Awesome. When do you guys want to take these next couple ones?
Yeah. Oh, that's the next one. Are there any current or past board members that you think you mold your leadership style as?
And Shire goes first in this one.
Oh, that's a little bit hard for me to answer because I don't think I definitely am. I know a lot of the people on the board. I don't really know exactly what goes on in the board meetings aside from what's happened in the open board meetings. I would say if I had to pick one board member, it would be Jedi Ninja. You know, he's the founder of this league. He's been here from the start, and I've played with him for the majority of my THL career with him as my captain, and he is just the epitome of someone who always has who is always fair and balanced when coming to decisions, and that goes for making decisions that were for the best of the Harry Generals and also for the best of the league. I just think, like, I just can't think of a time where I've really disagreed with something that he said, and if I have, then I can at least understand where he's coming from. He's just very calm and collected at all times, and yeah, I just think he's a great guy, and he's exactly what a board member should be. So that's who I try to model myself after.
How about you, Steve Parker?
Yeah, so like he said, it's kind of difficult because we've only seen so many different open board meetings and stuff since then. Originally, I was going to troll you and ask to repeat the question and say Hector, but I would, yeah, I would like to think that I would hope to be like D. Lineman. I really like the way D. Lineman thinks about things. He's very analytical, and when he doesn't look at just one side of things, he tries to come at everything from multiple different angles and find what is the best solution for any given issue or discussion or anything like that. He's very open to he'll hear another view and he'll evaluate it and say, this is why this wouldn't work. This is why this is good. And I really like that sort of analytical thinking. And he always comes back to don't compromise convenience over fairness. I've heard him talk about that, or don't compromise fairness for convenience. He's really big on that. I've heard him say that a few times, and I really like that. I really like the idea of focusing on what's fair for the league in terms of rules and stuff like that, and not compromising what would be convenient, even though it would hurt the league. And so I'm going to go with D. Lineman there.
Okay. Definitely two people to look up to, and the league certainly does. So I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. And then the last one is, what specific improvements do you envision our community can make in areas like YouTube, Twitch, social media, like those areas where I don't think we've found a consistent foothold yet. I think we're still kind of figuring out how we want to attack those.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if you've read my massive thing on Facebook, one thing I'd really like to see is kind of like a highlight reel. I would really like to see like a 5 to 10 minute video that kind of cuts together a week in the season of THL. That's one thing I think would be really cool. We can see things like, let's say, Cassidy or MV Parker here. They predict that Sage is going to get swept, and he's on Salty Saturday, and he pulls off a reverse sweep or something. And I would like to be able to chain together those moments in sort of a highlight reel. Other thing, right now YouTube is currently just our streams, and I'd really like to get some specific YouTube content on there. I know, excuse me, I know sort of in the video game sort of industry now, a lot of it is, so much of everything is live streamed. Twitch is a very important part of that. So that's kind of to be expected, but I would like to see some YouTube specific stuff. I would like to be able to put those together and, kind of piece together a story week by week of how the THL season looks like. I'd like to highlight storylines and stuff like that. And like Slimp says in chat, it would be great if we had an editor. That's something that, if I was elected, I'm actually looking into trying to learn some of this stuff. I've pieced together a few videos before, but I I would really like to see something like that happen. I think we put out so much content in Salty Saturday, Tavern Talk. It's really hard to consume all of that. And so I'd really like a condensed version for people to be able to follow along and see the THL season happen, but not have to be so engaged that they're dedicating 6 or so many hours to watching THL stuff. I would really love to see sort of like I just said, a condensed version of our shows for shorter consumption, I should say.
That makes sense. How about you, Mark Shire?
Yeah, sort of what C. Parker is talking about. I think not exactly a highlight reel, but some sort of condensed version of something that maybe like a short video, because I think when people go on YouTube, they aren't really looking, like no one is probably just going to watch and say, oh, okay, this is a Max and Salty Saturday. Oh, it's an hour and 20 minutes long. Like people probably aren't going to watch that. If we can get videos that are a couple minutes long and just touch briefly on things that have happened in the league, like what happened on Tavern Talk, what happened on Salty Saturday, just give a short recap of the league standings without having these hour-long shows, which are great, but they're not really what's going to attract people to the league. And the other thing I was going to say is regarding Twitch, I think there's Twitch communities, and it would be really great to have a THL community that has everyone who streams in THL. We have, I think THL has so many streamers. There's Jack. Sorry, I think I cut out there. But Jack Sox has, his own Valkyrie stream team, and that's a community. But Jack Sox can be part of the THL stream community, and everyone who streams can be part of that. And I think that would be really good to bring people together.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea a lot, actually.
Yeah, I need to know more about that feature. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we should look into. One of our first board meetings together. So.
All right. So next we have questions from the Q&A thread. There was actually 2 Q&A threads, so I just pulled from both. Some of these I think were answered, but I feel like it's important maybe to re-ask them if people are only watching the show and didn't read the earlier thread. So the first question comes from Nade, and it says, what would you work on immediately in preseason / what would you prioritize for season 6?
And we will start with Mark Shire first, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what I said there was what I'm going to prioritize first is to have a master calendar of all the events that are going to happen in THL. So that means someone can look at it and see this week, after the Salt Settles is happening on Tuesday, Wicked Wednesday is happening on Wednesday, Tavern Talk is on Thursday, et cetera, et cetera. And that means people will know what to expect. I think that will definitely increase the viewership we have for these shows as well. And I'm going to make sure that we get, these 3 or 4 key shows, maybe 4 or 5 key shows that are consistently happening each week. And then that will let us build, and that means that we can build around them to have other things that people want to do. For example, Darkseed had this Unguro Challengestone tournament, which was really cool. And that's something that can be sort of hard to schedule. Maybe if he wants to do it on a Saturday, but Salty Saturday is already happening at that time. If people already can see the master calendar, they'll know how to plan their events around them. So that's what I would first prioritize. And then I think that's going to be pretty difficult to do, just to get all of that together and make sure we have those initial shows up and running. And after that, I'm going to move on to other things. Like I said, Darkseed's Challengestone. Another idea I talked about is having a coaching session, a weekly coaching session where someone would coach on a particular archetype. So everyone in the community can come and watch that and learn from that. But really, I just want to make sure that everything is organized so we have a good baseline to then grow the community around that.
And how about you, C. Parker?
Yeah. So, I think one of the first things I would want to see done I've heard you guys talking in the board meetings and in Discord. I know Cassidy is kind of supposed to work up a calendar and stuff like that. My thing is not necessarily getting a public calendar put out, but making sure that everything we have currently is ready to go for the launch of season 6. So that's things like getting together an overlay, getting together. I really want like a splash page, something we can let other people use if they want to stream and stuff like that. That just highlights all our different ways to engage with the community. I'd like to see that on every stream and not just people having to Google Team Hearth League and stuff like that. And I'd really like to get the player profiles with the team profiles. I came up with this, and then Salmon went out and did ESPN 30 for 30 rejects, and I was like, oh, dang. Our hat came in, and he was telling us about it. I was like, dang it. But so I would really like to see that. I want people who come into the league to feel valuable and stuff like that. So, what was was it Rock Salt? What was his name? I just caught the end of that one when we got in.
King Salt, I think.
King Salt. Yeah. But like, I would love to be able to have a player profile on him. Let us know what he's into. What does he do? He's new to the league, and I want players to feel excited to be in the league, and I want the existing league members to have an easy way to say, hey, this guy's pretty cool. Hopefully he comes in Discord. Hopefully I get to talk to him. Hopefully I see him in chat and stuff like that. And when we have brand new teams come in, like Hearthstone Academy, I would like to see things that kind of highlight the captains and stuff like that. So I would like to see, once all these teams are settled, if we got any brand new teams, stuff like that, kind of get that going, and then helping out with what's going on with After the Salt Settles, Tavern Talk, Friday Night Frenzy, helping out just what we have on Twitch and stuff, and making sure that's all steady and ready to go for the start of the season. And then Wicked Wednesday. Really want to get Wicked Wednesday off to a good start. I know it's struggling in participation, so I don't know if it's just dedication to it and just keep on chugging and the participation will come, or do we get some new ideas? And I want to ask around and see what people want out of that. But Wicked Wednesday, I mean, that's how I got a lot of practice playing lineups in season 3. And so I really want to see Wicked Wednesday back, but I want to see it executed well, proper, admin well, with enough participation where people are excited about it again. Because I know the participation levels for that had kind of dropped off, and it's kind of hard to keep doing something when you get 6 people to register and stuff like that. So you got to find a way to get people engaged in that. And so I really want to see that launch. And that's sort of the first things. There's a bunch of other stuff I'd like to do. He mentioned, having like a coaching session. Cassidy had talked about doing something called Coach's Corner. And so I asked him if it would be cool if I threw that in there. Or I think I did. I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was a great idea, Coach's Corner, the idea of doing that. I would like to – my vision of something like that would include specific archetype matchups, highlight a deck, show it's a weak deck, a mirror match, and a favored matchup, and how to navigate those and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of potential for an idea like that. And it just depends on how it gets implemented. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to see done.
All right, cool. Thank you. So our next question comes from Ridiculous Hat, and he asks, what experience from outside the league would help you with your new role inside of the league? And that's for Steve Parker.
Yeah. So, I didn't have a great answer to this. For me, I've always been in a sales position for a long time. So I'm pretty good at being able to, find a connection with people, and, just talking to people. But the biggest thing I learned from it is getting things done with a deadline. That's something in the past I'd struggled with, but just, I know there's things that we got to get done by a certain time. And, as long as I'm able to have the time and, I'm not, if I'm able to plan it out, I'm going to be able to get it done. And so that's what's helped me the most. I'm not going to go too detailed into this, but I know that I'm not going to be slacking or anything like that. I'm going to be ready to rock, and I'm going to be able to plan out what needs to happen and then get it done.
How about you, Mark Shire?
All right, yeah. So my answer for this one, I talked about how I was a captain for my high school ultimate frisbee team. If you can't tell from my picture I have up, I play ultimate frisbee, and I was also the captain for my fall league team in college. So what I learned about that the most, I think, is having to work with the other captains on the team to organize all of the practice plans, the strategies that we come up with. And I think that translates extremely well to a board position, right? Because in these board meetings, I can't just say that, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. We're just going to do it my way. I'm going to have to compromise with everyone else. I'm going to have to work together, see what other ideas people have, take them in, and just find out the best solution for everyone. So I think that my experience with that, with working with other people in a group, would really help.
Okay, cool. The next one was, what is your opinion on how open board meetings / town hall segments have gone? Is there anything you would change with regard to those? And we'll start with Mark Shire.
Oh yeah. So I've really appreciated that we've had open board meetings. I know that kind of started after after the board dealt out some disciplinary actions that some people disagreed with that, and people really wanted more transparency from the board. And it's a great way to provide transparency. You know, I've attended a lot of these meetings, and it's given me a good sense of how the league is run and how board meetings are run. I didn't say that I would change anything about it. I think it's really good how it is. I think it really shows the community that the board is really invested in what they are, and that they're not just power tripping. They really do want what's best for the community. And just by laying it all out there, that's what that accomplishes.
Steve Parker.
Yeah, so I love the open board meetings. I think it's great that we're able to have our community get involved and, kind of see what's going on behind the scenes and the work that the board members put in. And I just want to thank all the past board members for everything they've done. It really is kind of shocking how much goes into this. When I think one of you all were talking about one of the spreadsheets and how it like maxed out at like like you couldn't add any more cells to it, and I thought that was pretty insane that over so many seasons we've had that. But so thank all of you who've been on the board before. But I think it's great. The only thing I'd change about the town hall segments is I kind of put in there is, if someone's not able to attend a board meeting but they want a discussion had, it'd be nice if they could send it to the board and a board member could say, hey, here's what he's trying to say, and just kind of represent it for him in case he's not able to make it to the board meeting due to work or something like that. I think it'd be cool just to give a little more openness there, or make that known that that's okay. So in terms of the way the board meetings are structured, I think that's great. So that would be the only thing I add, is just so they don't feel like they have to be there at that specific time. Even if if they're just wanting to bring up a discussion, see a discussion had, that can be had whether or not they're there, if they're okay with it.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. The next question is, again, from our hat, and it says, if you could change one thing about the league right now, what would it be? And we're starting with Steve Parker.
All right. If I could change one thing about this league right now, I had to put the website. I'm so hyped for it. Website 2.0, THL 2.0. It's just so cool. What you guys have planned and what you guys are coming up with. The website we have now, it works, but there's a lot of glitches with, how, hey, my classes didn't submit and someone has to manually go in there and do that. And there's a lot of tedious work. If some of that stuff gets automated, and then I love the idea of player profiles and just everything you guys are doing for it. So I'm really excited about that. You know, if I could say, if we have that now, like, let's do it. That's the one thing I would change because, you know, when I heard Jedi presenting it, I was like, oh man, I can't wait. So yeah, that's my answer.
How about you, Mark Shire?
Yeah, so my answer for that was just to have a master calendar, as I already talked about, that would show everything that's in the league. I think that's something that could be integrated in the new website too. I think Jedi just in chat said that we could embed a Google Calendar in the website, which is really good. But it would be awesome if we had even more options to work with that, and even more options to show the organization of events and just make it very clear which events are when, and have better advertising for that. So yeah, I'm really excited for the website as well, and I think a master calendar can be integrated really well with that. But the main thing I just want to have with this idea is to make sure that everyone in the community understands what's coming. I think for people who maybe don't go on Discord much, or it's a little bit hard to know when things are going on ahead of time. For example, I didn't even know when voting was going on until I asked Mage. And by the way, it's Thursday to Sunday. So I think if we just had that. Also, another thing that people talk about is people are constantly asking, like, when the new season starts. And yeah, maybe that information is available somewhere, but just making it extremely clear, you know, at the front page of the website, what all the deadlines and dates are for everything. I think that would really help out the league.
All right, cool.
Yeah, great.
The next question is from Tim, from Tim's team. And it's, how will you encourage more participation in THL events outside the league?
Well,
Okay.
Events other than league play, to clarify.
Yeah, outside of, like, playing your match. And we'll start with Mark Shire.
Oh yeah. So okay, my answer to this is pretty similar to what I was just talking about. I think that we just need to have clear advertisement of these things that are happening. I think that in the past, Wicked Wednesday, I could actually be wrong about this, but I feel like there was only a Facebook post a day in advance or the day of saying it was happening, but just having that calendar that so someone can look at the start of the week and say that, oh, okay, this is happening on Wednesday. This seems really cool. And that's also something that the marketing chair can work with, just to have better advertisement. We already have it on our website saying that there's a Wicked Wednesday. Also have it on Twitch, maybe just in the description, saying that Wicked Wednesday is every Wednesday, Tavern Talk is every Thursday, etc., etc. And on Twitter too, just in as many places as possible, I think, so we can just increase the likelihood that someone in the league will see this and know that there's an event coming.
All right, C. Parker?
Yeah, so I mean, he mentioned the marketing chair, and that was one of the first things that popped in my head is getting a marketing chair is going to be really important. I know it's going to be difficult to find someone to put in a lot of effort into making steady graphics and stuff for the league with, without being paid, because, that's a skill, and people want to get paid for what they do. But I really think that's a great way to start. A calendar is going to help as well. Another thing, in terms of weekly events, that's why I really want a splash page to see. You can show a weekly schedule, just something that you see everywhere you go. If you tune into Salty Saturday in a break, that's what you see. If you tune into Tavern Talk before and at the end, that's what you're going to see. Stuff like that. Every time you get on there, you're going to see that sort of reminder of what's going on a week-to-week basis. And then in terms of events that aren't weekly, I think the biggest thing is making them unique and making them fun. Having, like a story that you can find from doing this stuff. I just think the Wicked Wednesday kind of died off because it was the same thing every time. And so I would really like to see some sort of upgrade to it. even if it's something really small. Kind of like a running point standing over the season, and we crown a Wicked Wednesday champion at the end. Just some kind of something small to get people invested on a week-to-week basis, I think would be really cool. And then on outside events, active advertising for them, and then uniqueness is going to be, I think, really important. I know in a lot of the things I've done, I've offered prizes before, and I've put those up out of my own pocket, so that's not something I can do all the time. But I would like to see some prizes offered for certain things, special events, maybe once or twice a season, or maybe only during the off season or something like that. I would just like to see a little bit more variety or something new to Wicked Wednesday. I think that'll help Wicked Wednesday specifically, as it's our weekly event. And then but the more one-off events, I would say, making sure they're unique and making sure they're well advertised so people know about them.
All right. And I think this is probably our last question. We might have some follow-ups after our own personal time variety. But as burnout, and this is from Tim's team, Tim from Tim's team, as burnout and interest in Hearthstone dies, how will you keep THL members engaged in the community?
Well, first, I'd just like to say thanks to Tim from Tim's team for asking this question. I know Tim from Tim's team put a lot of thought into these. This is one of those things that's really difficult to answer because, it's in the name. It's Team Hearth League. So, I think at a certain point you're going to realize that some people are going to leave because they don't enjoy Hearthstone anymore. I think the other thing to do is, while you don't necessarily have to be on a team, but engaging in the community. And I think things like the proposed community event night would be really cool. Ways for people to come in, play a different game, but hang out with their friends, stuff like that. Once Discord gets the screen sharing, do like THL movie night where we all come in and we watch a movie and goof off and stuff like that. Like, I just think as we build the community, people are going to stay for the community and not Hearthstone, not for Hearthstone. Even if you're not playing on the team, you can play in Wicked Wednesday and have some fun. You can play in these one-off events and stuff like that. But at a certain point, there are going to be some people who just get tired of Hearthstone, and they're going to take a break. They're going to cut, and they might come back because of the connections they've made in the community. So I think that's really important. I think at a certain point, though, you'll have to say, I'm done with Hearthstone, and so they're going to take a break, and that's going to be okay. And I think that's important. While we're constantly bringing in new people, I know Mange, you do it as smaller right now, and in the future we're going to ramp up bigger once this website goes live, and we think THL is ready for it, and I can't wait for that. The more people who are in here and get to experience what I've experienced, I can't wait for that. So I think that's awesome. So so that's sort of my answer.
All right. How about you, Mark Shire?
Yeah, so I think that it's really important that we just keep building the sense of community that is present on Discord and on the Facebook group. It's already there. We already have so many great people in this community, but just continuing to make sure that this is an accepting place, that people who are new to League come in and just instantly love it. I would say, in respect to people like getting tired of Hearthstone and not really playing, I feel like that's sort of happened to a couple of people already. I know people play a lot of Heroes of the Storm and other games, but they still really enjoy just hanging out in Discord with their friends. So I think that, I think that it's sort of there already. I think there's these people who have been in the community for a really long time, even if their interest in Hearthstone wanes, which obviously it will, they've still made lasting friendships within this community, and they're going to stay because of it. I would say we just need to make sure that advertisement for Discord and for our Facebook group and for Twitch and things like that are just really prevalent. I think especially Discord is just a really great place that with just wonderful people. And I think the more people we can have in that, the better. I think the better community it's going to be, and that's going to keep people sticking around even if they lose interest in Hearthstone.
Awesome. So that's it for the Q&A that we had written down. Would any of you guys like to ask a follow-up question? Something maybe that you heard in their platform or answers?
I don't think I have anything else to ask.
No, I don't either. I think we nailed it. Facebook really did a good job.
Yeah, they really did.
I was really impressed with all the questions. A lot of people put in some good questions. Some people put in some not so good ones. But there was definitely a lot of good questions there for us to expand on. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I really appreciate it too, especially Ridiculous Hat and Nate. They really asked a lot of hard-hitting questions that really get to what it means to be a board member and what it means to be the director of community engagement. And there are a lot of good questions in the Tavern Talk Q&A too, but they may not have been as appropriate for the show.
I just wanted to say thanks for you guys for having us on. And, when I first saw that Mark Shar was going to be the one I'm running against, I was like, oh, crap. Here we go. He's like, everyone knows him. He's been around forever. And you've just, you've presented your platform well. There was no mudslinging or anything like that. Not that I expected it. And I just say if I do lose, I'm glad I lose to you. And if I win, I'm glad that you were my opponent, because it's definitely made me put a lot more thought into it than I originally thought. So I just want to say kind of thanks. I'm glad we actually had some we had one real race in this.
Aw, listen to you being all political.
I'm being nice. I like him.
Yeah, I mean, I also want to thank C. Parker for running against me. I really like, and also to the rest of community, what are you guys doing letting Parker and Ancient Cassidy run unopposed? Come on, guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely get me a Cassidy, but Parker, Jesus Christ. Anyone could have ran against him and won.
Come on, Salmon, where were you?
I would agree that almost anyone could have won. That's why I'm a superior scout.
Oh my god.
But yeah, seeing that you were my opponent, I didn't really know what to expect. But when I just saw the Facebook group and saw that you had, 3 whole Facebook comments talking about your plans, I knew that you were really interested in winning this position, and that you really cared about the league. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I'm happy either way. I know you're going to take care of the league, and so no matter who wins, I'm happy with it, because I know the league's going to continue on in with a great path forward, and ultimately that's what we're all here for. So I'm cool with it.
So I hope, and this isn't really a question, but just more of a personal thought. I hope that whoever loses, still takes some time and maybe works with the other one to get some of these community events off the ground, and maybe implement some of these other ideas that they have. Because there's a lot of really good stuff in both of your platforms. I think it'd be a real shame if for the league if we only got to see half of it. That's all I had to add.
Oh, I don't think either one of us is gonna, whichever one of us loses, is gonna sit back and well, I'm holding all these events, I'm not helping him. No, we just we want the league to do good. And so if I'm asked, what do I think? If I want, I still want to plan events and stuff like that. So I'd be totally down for it, and I'm sure Mark Shire would too.
Awesome.
Get a room, you two.
I know, Jesus.
Well, do we want to make sure everybody knows how to vote? At least the people that are listening right now.
Yeah. So, if you haven't checked already, you got a ballot in your email right before the show went live. If you were a voter who was able to vote, if you were a I don't know the word, just a qualified voter. I think it was anyone that had played at least 8 games of THL lifetime. So check your ballots. They will be live at 10 Eastern, which is about an hour. You can't really do anything with them before then. And if you don't have it, check your spam, and if you still can't find it, talk to Ben Goodman, Ridiculous Hat, on his Facebook thread, because he's the one that sent these out and he can help you. So, good luck to both candidates. I'm really excited to see where this race goes. I really, it's a shame that you're running for the same position, because I really do think that you're both excellent candidates and both super qualified. So, I don't know. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I think that's all we have for the show. It was planned to be a pretty short show. We went about almost an hour. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the next Tavern Talk that we'll have will not be next week. There probably won't be one next week, unless I'm wrong, but there probably won't be. And then the next week, we will have the roster reveal stream, where we roll divisions. Because next week will be the 20th, and then the next week will be the 27th. Rosters are due the 24th, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
hopefully,
oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, hopefully that we have all the rosters then, and that way
Yeah.
we can just roll divisions and everyone can see, you know, who's on which team and who's playing against which opponent, etc. Because that's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's my favorite part of preseason hype. So
Yeah, so next week we probably won't have a show, and then the next week will be a real hype episode where we'll roll divisions and we'll get all the rosters revealed, and it'll be a nice preseason stream. Alright, well, that's all we have. So,
all right, so
bye. Oh, go ahead.
okay,
Bye.
I was gonna say,
Bye.
Bye.
They're parting thoughts. All right, see you guys.